Akash Inti, the real reflection of you. In the midst of my nighttime routine, about to get into some yoga, meditation, finished up a bit of reading, and figured to make a video. I was feeling inspired to do it, and it seems it's almost like part of my routine now. It's like been 2 days in a row, 3 days now. And that's what I've been doing, is just building habits, understanding how to build habits, understanding the importance of them in my life, and tracking them, right? I find that the more I get into a routine, into a pattern of doing things, and sometimes doing them in a specific order, other times simply getting them done. It doesn't really matter if it's in an order, if it's not. But building habits, I have built habits throughout quarantine, and it's incredible, just being able to interrupt the flow of what my old habits were, and to be able to decide consciously what I want my new habits to be, and really they're not new habits anymore, they're present habits. But the importance of them and how much they impact my life. Everything from reading a few pages a day to meditating to doing yoga to all of these different things, and much, much more. Man, the importance of them is huge in my daily life. I'm talking about this because, well, I'm in the midst of it right now. I'm in the midst of experiencing the fruits of success of some of the habits that I've built on earlier in quarantine, and then some of the habits that I'm currently building right now, and just noticing them, right? Like, one of the great things that we're able to do as human beings is really document our life, and I think that's what these videos, in many sense, at least for me, do. It's I get to see where was I at that particular moment in time, knowing the circumstances of what I was going through at the time, and sparing you all the details of it, the gory details of it. And yet at the same time, I'm sure a few of you are kind of intrigued, like, I really wonder what's up with this guy. But it's a great way to just see what's going on, and to check in, and to see where was I at that day. It's easy nowadays, especially in the modern era of 2021, with YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, all of these things. They track all of our habits and our patterns more than anything. And so obviously whatever I post on the different platforms, but also what did I write in my own journal? What did I record to the outside world? What was my financial situation like? Who was I seeing at the time? What activities did I engage in? All of these types of things play integral roles. How was I texting? How was I Facebook messaging? Whatever. They play integral roles, and I'm able to just jump back into that consciousness. I go back sometimes, even today. Not specifically today, but there's times where I just go back into old journals from high school, old journals from college, and I just observe myself. I see where was I at, and more often than not, what I find is that my past dictates my future. Shout out to the shaman James Hyman for bringing my attention and awareness to that the past is really our future. And now it kind of like doesn't make sense, or it's like, what do you mean your past is your future? Well, I mean it in the sense of we often leave clues in our past about whereabouts we're going in our future. It could be small little clues, small little things of what I enjoyed, right? When I was, I remember when I was in fourth, fifth, sixth grade, fourth or fifth grade, the summer between fourth and fifth grade, I think, there was the Olympics going on, and I believe it was or might have actually been third grade, first to second, I don't know. One of the Olympics was going on at the time. It was the Summer Olympics. I think it was the 2004 Summer Olympics. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was held in Japan. But that was going on at the time, and I remember watching the TV, and I saw judo. And I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. Well, what did I do today? All I was doing was judo throws. And so the example that I'm using of the past dictates our futures, well, what was it about my past that I was so interested in and intrigued in, and kind of just involved, And it dictated my future, right? At that time, I didn't know that I would be doing judo throws when I am in 2021. But that's what I did today, So by going back into my journals, by looking back at my videos, by seeing what was I engaged with, what was I studying, what was capturing my present attention, well, I'm able to look back into where I'm headed moving forward. And that's the beauty of this, that's the beauty of these videos, that's the beauty of being able to go back and understanding the past. Well, it's contextualizing it, right? It's putting our own story into context, and that's constantly ongoing, that's constantly changing, and that's one of the things I love about storytelling, right? That's why I consider myself a raconteur, a storyteller, is because that's how I'm able to really understand the world, and at the end of the day, anything that's really ongoing in my life is really simply a story. Now, it depends on how I tell it. This depends on the story that I tell myself in my mind and the story that I communicate outwards as well. Both of these are really integral parts, and yet at the same time, all they are stories. So that's why I like to make them captivating, at least in that particular area. There's different ways to tell stories. There's effective ways and entertaining ways. There's many different ways to tell stories. And yet at the same time, it's what story are you telling, and what's the purpose of it, and how do you tell that story in the most, well, important manner. So this is where I'm at today. This is what I have to say. And I just want to end on the note that I am so grateful for the individuals who've been placed into my life, one way or another. Each and every single person has really taught me a lot. And they continue to teach me a lot. I get to see things in them that I'm able to see in myself. It could be patterns of behavior. It could be ways of thinking. It could be ways of communicating. It could be expressing the self. It's incredible. And I'm grateful. Keep up, thrive, and stay sexy.